Hey guys, welcome to Art Pop, where pop culture is art. We're trying out a new segment where I just do some sketching and just talk about maybe a little ranting on what's happening in the industry news as far as comic books and movies. And today we're going to talk about the Joker. I got this idea for a t-shirt design for my store, and it just falls in line with what's happening in Warner Brothers and their new idea. Let's go check it out. Okay, so with these segments, I'm really just sketching. I got some ideas in my head and I want to just sketch them out. But I also just want to do some banter and talk about things that are currently going on in current pop culture. And I don't know, I just was thinking about this Joker thing that Warner Brothers is doing, having multiple universes, and the direction that they continue to go, their current path, straight into the sun. Okay, if you haven't heard, Warner Brothers is developing a Joker origin story. Wow, I couldn't say that. Origin for a movie for the Joker. And not only does that sound like that doesn't sound like a great decision, but like it's not even part of the DC universe. It's like its own, kind of like Elseworld in the comics. And now, along with this origin movie, they're still, on fast track to start pre-production on the Harley Quinn Joker movie and the Gotham City Sirens movie, which is like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, so like and then the Joker's supposed to be in that too. And it's just like, I already believe, that Warner Brothers is definitely, they're so reactive that they're just not making proper decisions and they're just not on the right track. Like in comics, you have the main run, like let's just talk about Batman. So we've got Detective Comics, which has been running, but we've also got like Batman and The Batman. And like, so those all take place in a separate universe. Some of them are not in continuity with the other comics and with the main run. Now, us comic book aficionados, like, we know that, but I think the average person or audience won't get that. So they're not gonna understand why we've got Jared Leto's Joker in the Harley movie and why there's another, whatever actor they fit in there, it's gonna be a completely different Joker. And then on top of that, it's an origin story. And like, I guess they don't get that what makes monsters and what makes villains, the mystery behind them is really what makes them so scary. We don't know what created them. We just see the aftermath of and the terror that they bring. And so like, no matter what they do, that's why like the DC comic books, like now, for years, they've given us misdirections and hid away the Joker with his actual origins. And then now in the books, there's 3 different Jokers, within the DC universe. And that's why there's been so many variations of them. And we're not even talking about the animated series. So that is a super nerdy comic book thing. So like for the average moviegoer, I just don't, I don't think it's going to work. And I guess that's where this is coming from. Like I was just talking with a friend of mine, and I was telling him that this is gonna be just a bad decision no matter what. Overall, it's not gonna be anything that leads into a positive situation. Let's say that this origin story, the non-continuity Elseworld movie, is really a hit. The actor was great, the Joker, the writing, Martin Scorsese is producing it, so maybe, he'll show up on set and help him, and let's say this thing is a hit. Because Warner Brothers is so reactionary, that means that, like, they're gonna make changes immediately. Jared Leto is out, which I'm fine with. or we're changing this, or we're changing that. And then let's say while they have this hit, they're working on the Suicide Squad 2 or 3. They immediately are like, all right, cut that and let's put the other Joker in. People like this guy more than Jared Leto. So like immediately there's gonna just be this avalanche of change. They're just looking at the reactions of this and that and making moves. And unfortunately, they're not like taking this data and then making changes for something down the line. While we're getting a reaction from one, while Batman v Superman was getting all this negative reaction, you know, they were already filming something else, and then they had to make changes to that at mid movie, and it's just like that's what's gonna happen. That's on one end. That's if it's successful, what could happen, and then if it's a failure, it'll just completely cripple Warner Brothers DC universe. So not only their main universe is bad, but now a Elseworld side universe is also bad. You know, like it's just gonna show that they're just not doing it well. And I mean, that's just how I feel. You don't need an origin story for the Joker, like flat out, no matter what. But let's say you do want to do some other movies that don't fall, because you want to tell these great stories and you don't want to follow this continuity that's being created in the main universe. That's okay actually, but it's okay because I'm used to it in the comics. But for the average audience member, that's still not gonna work. You still have to explain to your friends or to your parents or to a cousin or whoever, no, that's why it's not Jared Leto. This is not part of the universe. Yeah, I know it's confusing, but just look at it as its own thing. All that's gotta happen. And then how do you market that on top of that? You know, like how do you, look at Disney with Rogue One. They had, some people are like, oh man, Rey looks different. Why did they change the actress? No, this is taking place before A New Hope. And like, there were a lot of people who were confused by that. And I just don't know. I just don't see it being successful either way it goes, you know? And I hate comparing the two, Marvel and DC. Like, unfortunately, just Marvel's successful. But like, they lay down a path and they've just followed it. Like, even if a trend says something else, they still are on this path. Like, people really liked Ant-Man and they liked the Wasp's character. And people like, they really love Angelina Lilly and they really were like on it. They're like, oh, we want to see a Wasp movie. Marvel didn't immediately jump say, we're making a Wasp movie. Here it is in 2 years. Like DC is doing. They're like, great. She's gonna be in the sequel. You guys are gonna like her even more, and they continued on their path. That's how I feel about the Joker. So let's just talk about the sketch. It's a sketch. Got this idea of like the Joker sitting on like a Game of Thrones, like a big throne, but it's actually the Batman sign, and he's just sitting there, kind of looking menacing. I think it'd be kind of cool on the front of a shirt, so that's why I wanted to just sketch it out and get it out there. And then, maybe I'll do a final drawing later. So, okay, that's it. I just wanted to kind of, like I said, just talk and voice my opinion on this. Kind of sketch my opinion on this and my thoughts, like I'm sketching this here. And that's it. And just like this idea, I got it out and it's done. I'm going to do the same thing with this paper. Like, I got it. I'll do it again. Actually, I'll make it a little neater. But this was just a sketch, so... You let go. You don't have to hold on to it.